We are back, and thank you for staying on. Yes, it is the station that brings good things, only good things, of course, to life. And you here also with me live AM Ghana, and it's the political discussion aspect. Well, we have two major things we want to talk about in this segment. We do want to talk about some minority demands. One particular demand now is about opening of the land borders, and that will be actually the first thing we look into, and then followed by that, we'll look at, of course, the prevailing issue now, fuel prices, and how it is soaring so high like the eagles like the eagle's flight is being carried on eagle's wings, and it's being taken higher and higher and faster as well. So we want to discuss these two things. I can't do them by myself, but a little background into that topic. You do remember, or you do recall, that since Ghana recorded its first case of coronavirus, the land borders were closed, and to date, now the situation also remains the same. It remains the same. There have been several calls and agitations from traders, border town neighbors as well, and even some members of the opposition, that's the NDC, the National Democratic Congress, to the government, or on the government, to, as a matter of urgency, reopen the land borders. But President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has noted that the time was not right. It's still closed, so the time is not right for land borders to be reopened. According to him, the decision taken by the government forms part of the efforts to prevent the spread of the Omicron variant in the country. Addressing, okay, so that he addressed this. He said this particularly on Wednesday, today being a Wednesday. We're going back to it, but it was 15th, not 16th, 15th of December 2021, just last year. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo assured Ghanaians, especially the trading community, that reopening of land borders would be, it would be reopened at the appropriate time. And the question we're asking is, is it the right time now, or do we still, are the issues that caused the closing of the borders still pending, so that these borders are still closed? Well, here to do that, discuss with me, okay, I have two gentlemen here, but before that, I want you to watch. We have a video for you. It's ready now, so we'll play that video of what the minority demanded for. So let's go. We'll be right back.
Thank you for responding to our call on a rather short notice. This press briefing is intended to address three important issues. One, and the first, will be our call on President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana, supported by his Minister for Health and Minister for Interior, to take urgent practical steps for the reopening of Ghana's land borders to allow for free flow of persons and goods across ECOWAS and the rest of the world. Post-COVID, we are not out of the woods yet, but we want to see a return to normalcy with the movement of goods and services through our borders. And therefore, whatever proactive measures government needs to take, there can be no justification for the continuous closure of Ghana's land borders. Therefore, as a minority, our primary concern this afternoon is to call on the President, as chair of ECOWAS, to do that which is needful to give meaning to the resolutions he so chaired for ECOWAS to pass. The second most important issue we like to address is the fleecing and rip-off of Ghanaians and international travelers into our country in the name of COVID charges at the Kotoka International Airport by Frontiers Health Services must be reviewed and reviewed in earnest by government. Nowhere in the world does anybody pay $150 for a COVID test. The Honorable Ablakwa returned from Romania. I was in Doha, Qatar, and the least you pay is $50 US. At most probably highest elsewhere will be 100. So for non-Ghanaians to be compelled to continue to pay $150 US in the name of COVID tests, which COVID test arrangement procurement is questionable and raises questions of us using COVID as a money-making enterprise instead of a public health epidemic that needs our collective efforts to combat and to deal with. We do not think that continuously persons traveling to Ghana from abroad must be made to pay $150 US. We consider that a rip-off. We consider that prohibitively high, and even $50 for Ghanaian nationals is high. At best, it should be free for Ghanaian citizens. What is it that we cannot do for our own citizens who want to return to Ghana to contribute to the social and economic development of our country? President Akufo-Addo is our key diplomat, and he has a duty to keep our relationship with our foreign friends and neighbors well. My understanding is they have gone to demolish the Bulgaria embassy in Ghana. This is unacceptable, and this can sever ties between Ghana and Bulgaria and its other foreign.
You did hear that press release from the NDC. The demands, yes, is to open our borders, our land borders. So they want it opened, and yes, the trading community, even as well as neighboring countries. And that's one thing I like. He said that the president is a key he's a diplomat, a key diplomatic person for us. So when it comes to us, the ECOWAS chair as well, relations with our neighboring countries as well, I mean, that is something that should concern all of us. And so looking at this, well, I don't have a take. I don't have, I'm still thinking, I'm still processing, and there are two gentlemen here to help me, you know, in how I think or which way I go when it comes to this particular one. I have with me here, so I was about to call them Men in Black, but you see why I can't call them that. From the NDC communications team, I have Mr. Kingsley, right? Amaleba.
Yes, Haruna.
Haruna, okay. Haruna Amaleba. Mr. Kingsley, you are welcome and good morning.
Good morning to you, and thank you very much for having me here.
As usual, when I see you, I know that my morning is going to be a heated one. Interesting as well.
Not really.
Oh, okay. We'll see about that. And I also have with me from the NPP communications team, Mr. John Agbote, lawyer. Sorry. Hey, how could I have?
It's okay. I'm a mister, sir.
All right, lawyer John Agbote. You are welcome. Good morning.
Thank you. Morning.
Mr. Kingsley Amaleba, please, how's your morning been so far?
That's a good morning to you and to you, my cherished listeners and viewers across the world, and to the good people of Tempane constituency.
Tempane.
Yes, where my auntie is the Honorable MP, Honorable Lydia, and to the leadership of my party, National Democratic Congress, and particularly to Alhaji Sheriff Abdul Nasiru. Let me also greet senior lawyer I've met here.
Okay.
My morning, for some reasons, I am unable to sleep beyond 2 a.m. nowadays. And it is as a result of, undoubtedly, the economy taking a toll on my life. And it's a worry to me because looking at the circumstances we find ourselves now as a country, we never envisioned it. And honestly speaking, our forebears, the people who fought for independence to liberate Ghana from the shackles of colonialism and the fleecing and exploitation by the colonial metropolis, did not think or contemplated of ending external colonialism and substituting it by internal kind of colonialism, apartheid, and segregation against the citizens of this country.
Okay.
This is where we find ourselves at this material moment, and I feel very, very worried and sad as a Ghanaian. The worst of it all is that our wealth as a country is being auctioned and thrown out with careless abundance, without recourse to law and order. Mind you, the current administration have procured loans, including a century bond. I will be 39 very soon. If you add the next 20 years to my life, I'll be holding a stick. And I won't say 50. I'll be 59. By then, if I can walk with my 2 legs, thank God. The next 30, 40 years, it is possible that I may not be around. And I also doubt how many of us here will be around. But our children will be there. So by the next 70, 80 years, our grandchildren, they will come and pay for the loans that the leadership at the moment are procuring.
Okay. All right.
Painfully, those monies don't go to investment, but rather they go into consumption.
All right.
They go into building empire for family members, to the detriment of the country. And that is my worry. And that is the reason if you are a patriotic citizen at the moment, irrespective of your political divide, let's bury our party colors at the moment. And at least wear national interest spectacle and fight for this country. I will invite my senior to join me in this struggle.
Okay. So you have been invited. I was just about to do same, but since he's called you, I want you to respond to that. Then we delve into what
Thank you very much.
Well,
this is his introductory comments. So it's off the
main
whatever for the day. But I want to say that, let me say good morning to everybody watching here, especially to the good people of Ablekumanov constituency, and my MP, the Honorable MP for Ablekumanov, Sheila Bartels. And I have a gentleman in the voter region I want to say shout out to.
Okay.
He's Kimi. He's called Kimi. Kimi for short.
Oh.
Yeah. You see, we have always admitted that times are hard. You see, it is interesting to hear some NDC, not all of them do that in a way, NDC communicators trying to shift all the blame onto the MPP. Because, you see, I keep saying that you came to meet a debt stock of $9 billion. You pushed it to 120. At your time, your tax was to service only 9 billion. And you see, it takes more, over 1,000 times, to service what you came to meet. I don't know whether you are getting my argument.
I get you.
You met a debt stock of 9 billion. If I'm paying even 20% or 10% of 9 billion, that is just about 90,000 or something. But if you move it from 9 billion to 120, you don't expect me to use that 90,000 again to service the debt.
Okay.
You understand that?
I get that.
So you expect me to now use about 1 point, how much? If I think 1 point something, about over 1,000 times what you came to meet to service that same debt you have left, the stock you have left. Okay. So what it means is that we will need more cash inflow to service what you have also accumulated.
Okay.
So where we are now is not as a result of the MPP that came to power some 5 years ago. It is a cumulative effect of all the effort and the debts that the previous government, successive governments, have accumulated to date.
Okay.
So if they are talking, they should not make it look like in their days it was so rosy. Ghanaians wouldn't have booted them out from office in 2016 if they had made Ghana a heaven to live in. So when they are talking, they should be measured in their arguments.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, I want you to respond as representative for the NPP communications team. I want you to speak on what we saw right now, the minority demands when it comes to the land borders being reopened. They are calling, and of course, it's not just about the NDC. We heard earlier, from what I read earlier, that the trading community is also worried. The neighboring countries are also worried. So maybe being the communications rep, I think that you can be able to tell us why are our borders still closed, and is there any time frame that we should be looking at in terms of our borders being reopened?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I think the president alluded to that fact when he made the December 15th statement about COVID, the Omicron virus, for that matter. And that was the reason why the borders still remained closed. Okay. But frankly speaking, I also think that it is time for us to open our land frontiers. Surprisingly, you may be surprised, but that is my feeling. You know,
I'm not surprised.
I am a typical Ewe from the southern part of Ghana.
Okay.
And before I started to practice law, I had worked as an immigration officer for 11 years. So I know what happens along the borders. We are talking about closure of the borders. But I can tell you, you have no idea how many people still come in or go out on a daily basis. That is one. Two, the economic activities of the people along the border is mainly to carry things across and carry things in for a living. That is what they do for a living. Okay, so then it becomes a problem when those borders are closed. But mind you, the government was being careful of the lives of Ghanaians that may be lost as a result of people coming in with the virus. And for that matter, government prioritized the lives of Ghanaians above any other consideration. It is not the pleasure of government to keep the borders closed. I tell you, because when you go to the steps at the borders, you see how much money government is losing as a result of the closure of these borders. We have so much money that comes in on a daily basis from outside as a result of things that have been imported into Ghana, custom duty and all that. Immigration also gets some money from people who are coming in as a result of payment for visa, extension and all other things. So if government has the option to open the borders, government will be glad to do that. But the problem is that government is being very careful, and it is good it's coming from the NDC at this time. Because you see, they are the same people. If government had willingly opened it without their call, they will say that government is not, how do you call it, thinking of the lives of Ghanaians. Government is only thinking of how to increase the revenue. And because we have run down the economy, we need more money. So we have relegated the importance of our lives to the background. And now we have opened up the frontiers for people to come and infest us more with coronavirus so that more Ghanaians will die. They are the same people who will be making this kind of politics.
That's an assumption anyway.
Oh, so of course I know them. And he will
it's
tell
still
you.
An assumption.
I know they are friends. We have been with them for years.
Okay.
That is the anger they would have come from. But it is good that they are now initiating that move. We are so thankful to them. But I think that, you see, especially when this Russia-Ukraine war started, something funny, let me put it in that way, something funny has happened to the whole world.
All right.
instantly the hue and cry about virus, the coronavirus, and its daily different whatever we're getting, types we're getting or variants we're getting, vanished.
Oh, but it's not vanished. If you listen to even this week, China, a new variant of the Omicron, so has some parts of China even on lockdown as we talk. Yes, so.
Oh, but that is just a minute. That's just a minute portion of the world. You understand that? Yes. You see,
okay.
we were expecting. Looking at the situation before this war started, we were expecting that the authorities will come out and say that as a result of this, the rush and the stampede caused by the war, people who were infested or who had the virus actually transmitted it to other people in the course of the struggle, because we were made to wear nose masks, or we are still wearing nose masks.
I don't know if we ever looked particularly at Ukraine in terms of they are dealing with coronavirus. I don't know if we paid particular attention or we had any interest to them prior to the war, so that we would have said, or we could have said that there was this percentage, you know, of people infected with the coronavirus, and because of that, maybe then we can come and say in their rush or they are trying to get out of the country and all that. I don't know if you get the line.
I've got the line,
yes,
but I think that our concentration should rather be on the receiving countries. Do you get my point?
Yes, I get you.
You are of the view that, well, if you knew that maybe 5% of them were infested, okay, so that 5%, when as they are living, they will also transmit it or bring it out to those other countries.
Yeah.
So then my concern is that we should have a data from the receiving countries to tell us that as a result of the influx of refugees, the number of coronavirus cases in our country has shot up. But we have been reading around to see that, but I'm not seeing it. That's why I say it's very funny. You understand? I'm not seeing it. So what it means is that the coronavirus, after all, is not that deadly as we thought it was. Yes, that is the impression all of us are getting now. Because if the war, the Russian-Ukraine war could just put it off, could extinguish its fire instantly, then of course it is not as dangerous as we thought it was. That is my personal assumption anyway.
Right.
So then that also has given credence to the call being made by the minority in parliament that, well, after all, coronavirus is not that pervasive in our region. Or
haven't Ghanaians been of this view way before even the Ukraine?
Yes, the Ghanaians, but you see, we did not have any proof and we did not have any external factor like I'm mentioning now to actually affirm or reaffirm our earlier conviction.
Okay.
And so then now that we are getting this from another side, from another angle, then it comes to actually reinforce our impression and our conviction that, well, coronavirus may be there, all right, but it is not as deadly as, and should not be the reason why people's economy should be run down. Should not be the reason why people should be suffering. Should not be the reason why Ghana should be losing so much, because we need more money to run this country.
All right. Okay. So yes, I'm giving the time now to Mr. Maliba too.
Okay. So,
Mr. Maliba, I want you to respond. I know that it is the stand of the NDC, the minority, that the borders should be opened. Yes, our borders should be opened. And also, I think there was a second thing they itemized there in their demands about the monies that are being charged for whether the clinical testing, the $50 or the $150, whatever it is, that Ghanaians should, you know, they should waive off everything for Ghanaians who are coming, of course, to bring in economic and, yes, whatever the benefits are, all of that. So I need you to respond to what lawyer John Agote said, and perhaps maybe you have more to also place on the table for us. You're welcome.
Senior is a lawyer, and he knows that when lawyers speaks, they deal with facts. And the facts are, it must be accurate and sacrosanct and undisputable.
Okay.
Having said this, he is aware that NDC did not come and meet $9 billion as our public debt.
Okay.
You said dollars.
Okay, sorry.
Okay?
Sorry.
You said 9 billion. It was Ghana cedis.
Okay.
By the time we were leaving office,
I agree.
the debt stock was 120 billion.
Okay.
120 billion. Now, this 120 billion,
Still Ghana cedi.
we can
Still Ghana cedis.
what Ghana cedis. By the moment, our debt is hovering above 350 billion Ghana cedis. Okay? And that amount of money NDC borrowed under Mahama Mills, we can point out one by one what project we use the money for.
Okay.
We can account to the people of Ghana. Atuabo Gas have already saved this country approximately $3 billion over the last 5 years. And money which would have been used to import live crude oil to power our thermal plant for us to get light. That money goes to the vault of government of Ghana. Terminal 3 here. So far, it has given us over $600 million in revenue. And it can go on and on and on. These are investments you made that brings a lubrication to the economy.
Okay.
Apart from creating permanent jobs, it becomes a revenue generating venture that enables the state to make money. What has President Akufo-Addo done?
You can't see, or you don't know.
Do you get me? What has President Akufo-Addo done? Where is his Terminal 3? Where is his airport? Where is KGHT market? University of Ghana Medical Center. I haven't even talked about University of Ghana Medical Center, the Rich Hospital, the Bank Hospital, the Kumasi Airport, the Tamale Airport, the Ho Airport, the Wa Airport, the regional hospitals, including my own home region. People of Bolgatanga are watching us now. They can call to confirm or deny this. By the time NDC was leaving office in 2016, Bolgatanga Regional Hospital was completed. I don't know why Mahama government didn't inaugurate it. President Akufo-Addo have come to power. For the past 5 to 6 years now, he has refused to open the hospital for people to go and receive health care. So when we get emergency cases in Upper East region, you know where we take the cases to?
Where?
The best place could be Tamale Regional Hospital. But sometimes patients are referred from Upper East to Kolebu, how do you call it? To Komfonochi in Kumasi. And imagine the distance. They are not airlifted. They're being carried by ambulance. And our road is deteriorating. You remember when the Kuboro River overflowed 8 banks and destroyed the road, that section of the road, linking Boko, Bolaga. It became a disaster for people who were supposed to cross from Boko area to come to either Tamale or Boko, how do you call Bolagatanga, for a review. This is the excruciating hardship President Akufo-Addo have put the people of Ghana into. And we will go to the details. You see, it's very ridiculous when you hear the MPP side, particularly even the President of the Republic, try to justify the reasons they have kept the land borders closed. And even the closure of the borders in the first place. You see, I am looking at these figures from the globalstatistics.com. And these are the COVID cases. These are the cases.
Okay.
Ghana, we got 160,761 cases. In fact, the whole of West Africa, we were holding the trophy of COVID under the watch of President Akufo-Addo. We got 1,445 deaths and 159,227 recoveries. Now, Togo, they only managed 20,751 cases. Out of that, 375 died. 375 died. And they got 20,309 recoveries. That's Burkina Faso, sorry. Togo only also managed 36,860. And 272 deaths. And 36,542 recoveries. If you look at these figures from globalstatistics.com, it is a clear indication that if there are countries that are supposed to close their borders, it should be Togo, Burkina Faso, and Ivory Coast, they should have called their borders against Ghana.
Against us.
But not Ghana calling our borders against them. But you see, the regime did that, number one, to pave a way in order to enforce a political decision that inured to their benefit. For example, when the Supreme Court gave that ruling that the Electoral Commission can proceed to compile a new voter register in the midst of the COVID, what happened? The government overnight sent soldiers to all these border towns. And the people who became victims were the Votarians, where my brother comes from. And your people are expected to speak for them. Let's put politics aside. Look, I spoke about segregation and apartheid in this country. Do you think it is fair? Apiati people had a disaster. We commiserate with them. But the same disaster strike in Keta, and President Akufo-Addo did not even mention it. His budget denied to make a provision about it. And when NDC demanded, Akufo-Addo cabinet minister Matthew Opoku Prempeh claimed that if the minister for finance amend the budget to reflect the plight of the people of Keta, he will go on demonstration. That's the thinking of the people we have in power. Look at the attention they have given to the people of Apiati in the Western region. And then see if similar attention have also been given to the people of Volta region, particularly in the Keta. Have they done that? And don't forget that a whole government prepared a budget, I think in 2018, and no provision was made for Volta region. That is MPP for you. Look, I dare say, if Chebi were to be a border town, like Aflao, like other places, Akufo-Addo would never have imposed a curfew. Sorry, this land restrictions.
Okay.
He would never have done that. Senior have admitted here that.
Why are you speculating?
I'm not speculating. I'm not speculating. Senior, I am not engaging in the realm of speculation.
I think you should allow him to. I want him to. I'll cut him short so you can make your last way before you go. So allow him, because you made some assumptions as well.
I am not speculating. But we look at the behavior of the government and make predictions. And I'm not far from the truth. And I've given you Apiati and the Keta disaster as an example, and the omission of Volta region in their budget. These are facts, and they are public records. The people of Aflao demonstrated somewhere, is it early this year or somewhere latter part of last year, and demanded that the border should be opened. And you have alluded to the fact that the closure of these borders are denying government of Ghana even the hard needed revenues.
Okay.
And given the cases that I have given you relative to the COVID situations, which country should have closed its borders first? But the government think that I have the power. President Akufo-Addo.
I wish you land on.
Yeah, I'm just landing. President Akufo-Addo. He's not the president. He sees himself as a king, the ruler, the unquestionable emperor who can do everything and get away with it.
Right.
But the day of accountability will soon come. So I commend the minority for making this call again. We are looking and observing carefully how government will respond to the call. Okay.
Lawyer John Agbute, I know that you have to take leave of us soon. So I want you to respond quickly and then to touch on the hike in fuel prices as well for me before.
You see, when people, they talk like this, and NDC communicators talk like this, what they do is that they make all of it digress from the main cause.
So what exactly?
Because if you are making speculations about Akufo-Addo not going to not to have close the borders if Chebi were to be a border town.
You know, you made such assumption earlier, and I did hint on it.
I was saying that they would have come from a different. We know them. You see so
they say I believe it's the same thing he's doing, right? I believe it's the same thing. I believe it's the same thing he's doing.
I told him that they met 9 billion Ghana cedis, as he has brought my attention to 9 billion Ghana cedis. They took it to 120, and servicing 120 is not the same as servicing 9 billion. That is it. So what it means is that a chunk of the money that would have been used for other things was being used for servicing the debt they have also accumulated. And especially when their interest rates of the debt they had accumulated were very, very high. We had to do smart borrowing by going for a lesser percentage to replace theirs. So some of the monies that we are going to borrow was, for instance, if NEC went to borrow at the rate of 19%, and we are able to get it for 5%, we'll go for the 5% stock to replace their 19%. So that Ghana.
I'm
Ghana
having a very naughty question in my head right now.
Yes.
I don't know if I should pose it, but
you can. Why? That is why we are here.
So I listened to Mr. Amaliba here, and he said if they borrow to the tune of 120 million, right, Ghana cedis, billion, sorry, Ghana cedis, they have, and he did make mention of some projects that this 120.
I am coming to that.
Okay, so I just want to pose my question. Was supposed to, because of your time, was supposed to have done, and you are telling us that you raised as a government the 120 to 300, because you were trying to service or pay off those debts.
We're actually replacing some of the debt, so that the
are we saying that
for servicing there's the services charges will be less.
Yes. So are we saying that if people should get up and say, okay, so in this administration, this is what our monies were used for, would that
no, that is not. I'm saying that one.
Okay.
I am telling him how come the debt stock has shocked to that effect, to that level. They took it from 9. I keep saying it. They ended at 120. We took it for 120. It is now at 350, 340. He's saying 350. You should calculate the percentage rise in the debt and see what percentage they have accumulated as compared to what we did. The fact of the crux of the matter is that the monies that we got, the loan that we have accumulated, a chunk of it was used to do what is futuristic, what will help Ghana in its development, the developmental agenda in the future, to solve some current problems and to also develop Ghana in terms of projects. The interchanges.
All right. So please start
we have done
because of your
we have done NAPCO. We have done NAPCO. Yes,
where we saw them
during their time. If you go and look at the unemployment during their time, the unemployment rate was around over 6%, but it's coming down to about 4%.
When NAPCO is back on the grid for unemployment, most of them are back there.
No. That is why we are looking for means of sustaining NAPCO, and we'll do that.
All right.
We have done free SHS, something that has a very good potential for the future of Ghana. We will not see the effect today, but very soon, in some 6, 7, 8, 10 years to come, you will all see the benefit of what free SHS something they said we could not do, that we came to do. They will see the benefit of it.
Please touch on the fuel price. Because of your time.
Yes. No. So because he has said so many things, that's why I was coming to come in. I was trying to come in, but you said I should just remain. You see, it's my time that is limited. So with the fuel price as it is now, let me be very frank that Ghana, anybody, even if you make him Amaliba the president of Ghana, he will not be able to do anything about the fuel price hikes.
So we should stop looking up to the government.
Of course.
Okay.
Government does not influence the decision of OPEC.
Okay.
He knows. They are all aware. If OPEC says I'm increasing a barrel of how do you call it, the price of a barrel of crude oil from at their time it was around 50, 60. Now it's over 120, 130. Okay. You understand that? If they are increasing it, who is Ghana to say that no, stop it there? We cannot do anything, and we don't have monopoly over it.
But we do have monopoly over the cedi, and we are being told that is one issue that actually affects.
No, we don't have monopoly. We have monopoly over
our cedi, and how to, because even other African countries.
And you know. Let me tell you something. One thing that makes Americans' economy versatile is the petrodollar.
Okay.
You understand that the fuel, I mean the crude oil internationally is priced using the dollar.
Okay.
So the dollar has become a very hot cake.
Okay.
So obviously, when you see that there is a hike in the price of crude oil, there will surely be a resultant hike in the demand for the dollar.
Okay.
So it isn't like it is government that is not doing anything right.
But
you understand that.
Just cutting again, the VP Bawumia, when you were in opposition, assured us that he could actually work with the cedi to bring it out to match things like
and he did that. Listen, one thing is that we cannot say that the cedi will remain at its points where we took it from
Okay.
forever. That is not what he said. But look at the rate of increase or the rate of depreciation of the cedi during the NDC time, especially during the Mahama time from 2013 to 2016. Look at the figures. Very high figures. But if you look at the rates at which it is depreciating under this government, it is at a lesser rate as compared to the Mahama time. We were not
promised of depreciation of the cedi.
No, we cannot say that. You cannot hold your economy at just one level. I think he has done some economics. You cannot say that as for our economy, we are going to maintain inflation at this and make it fixed. You will not get certain things done in the country. So we need some slow depreciation. We need some slow increments of the inflation rates. You need to be making some sacrifices economically to be getting other things done. So as for that one, it cannot be static. Nobody has ever said that. You see, but they know very well that it is. But if you look at the rate of depreciation of the cedi during the John Mahama administration, as compared to the Nana Addo Bawumia time, there's a fact. It is clear who is managing the cedi better.
No, but
they couldn't have. I'm telling you,
okay,
they couldn't have managed it better than this. Theirs would have been worse. Then
so another assumption there.
Then they say then they say it's not a better economy of Ghana's. It's not a better manager of Ghana's economy than NPP. The figures are all there for us to see. Go to inflation, we manage better than them. Develop how do you call it? GDP increase in GDP. As we are talking now, 1D1F has created over 150,000 jobs. As we are talking now.
Okay.
During their time, they had gone to IMF. And for 3.5 years, we couldn't employ one single Ghanaian into the government. In any government
your time is about.
So they are not better managers of the economy than we are.
All right.
If you are in the classroom, let me end up with this.
Okay.
Then let the NDC, anybody hearing me take or listen to me, take this from me. If you're in the classroom and there's a difficult mathematics question on the board, and the mathematicians, the good ones in the class, are struggling to solve it, they arrive at an answer, then you, the poorest math student at the back, are saying that the answer is wrong. So you must look at those guys very well.
All right, thank you very much, lawyer.
Before he leaves,
okay.
Before he leaves, I want to give him this message. Before he leaves.
I have to.
President Mahama, when he was called incompetent, he asked the MPP, "You have never come near government before, Bawumia and his boys. Therefore, if Rawlings and Kufuor had called him competence, he will agree because they have been there." And he asked them, do they know how it takes to be president? Your analogy, Ghana economy is run by common sense.
Okay.
So by common sense, the perceived poor student can answer you that your answer is wrong. And if you swallow your pride and redo your maths again, that student will prove or will be vindicated at the end of the day. Wow. Here we are. But you see, it's unfortunate because of time, he's just running away. We will have a very good conversation this morning. But listen to this. The fuel prices.
Okay.
Julie,
yes.
The two of us are here. So let's take our time and deal with the issues. What is happening now is as a result of mismanagement, corruption, failure of government to act, and lack of vision and clue about how to handle things. In effect, President Akufo-Addo have proven to be obnoxious, empty, incompetent, bad leader, and worst in history of Ghana. If I were him, and indeed particularly Bawumia, we will organize press conference and apologize to these people, to the good people of this country. You know why? Go out there with your cameras and your microphones. Interview people. They will share with you the frustrations they are going through. Where I live for the past 7 years, I haven't moved away. Under Mahama time, I needed only 4 cities. I will come to Accra and go back, and at least drink 2 sachet water to quench my taste. 4 cities under Mahama time. Before he left office in 2016. I am still living in that same place. Today when I'm coming to town, I need approximately 15 cities.
You are saying inflation doesn't justify that.
I am talking to you about the situation. Okay? They are talking about inflation. In this country, we had inflation figures. NDC hold inflation at a single digit consistently for 3 months. Dr. Bawumia questioned it. He'll go to Malata market to buy tomatoes and onions for his wife, Samira Bawumia, and some makeup kit. And go and sit down behind the bed and take his calculator and do inflation, calculate his own inflation and throw it out. The man now is on charge. He's in charge. He is on the seat of government. He is the head of the economic management team. Why is this situation now? What is the situation now? But it's because of one thing. Lies. Dr. Martin Luther once said, truth crashed to the ground will rise again. No lie can live forever because the arc of the moral universe is long, yet it bent towards justice. Unquote. Today, the arc of the moral universe have now pointed to the seat of justice and is exposing the charlatans, the lies, the irresponsible politicians in the system. Why is the MPP are fighting among themselves? Why are they fighting? They are fighting because when they fought for government to come to power, that government have failed to take care of them. And Madam Femo Paro, the Chief Justice, Akufo-Addo Chief of Staff, can give 500 million old Ghana cedis, 50,000 to address Schwarzenegger, a few Schwarzenegger, as a funeral donation. Additionally, he was able to sponsor a coffin from Europe to come and bury a dead body. That's MPP for you. These are people who before election 2016 were begging Ghanaians on the street, donate for change. Donate for change. If Femo Pare could give a funeral donation of 500 million, why didn't he say the MPP?
She hasn't come out to confirm it yet. So
but you think it's a lie? Until then, let it remain there. But there cannot be any contrary response. So the MPP members who fought for power for them have not received their due. That is why they are angry, they are grumbling, and they are fighting at the base. Because the leadership, the bad governance of Akufo-Addo have made things so hard that even they themselves gotten nothing from the government, the actions of government have even exacerbated their lives. So where are they? They work for a power only to become victims under their own government. The fuel hikes, we are told that it will go at least 11 cedis by the close of today. That's what COPEC have told us. And my senior, before he left, claimed here that government cannot do anything about OPEC. Really? Very well. Government don't determine fuel prices in the international market. Granted, let's agree and even take that argument on the face value, which is not true. Because government, though, don't determine fuel prices, government can do something about the prices. Now, you need to know that the fuel prices are determined by 2 or 3 factors, to my understanding. One, if there is a fluctuation in the production of oil from the oil producing countries, they can create artificial shortages that will lead to high demand in the market, and eventually prices will go up.
Okay.
It's a demand and supply. Government of Ghana cannot do anything about it. Okay? But this COPEC, that's is it COPEC?
OPEC.
Is it no, not OPEC. Is it the COPEC,
Then
our
COPEC.
local
Then COPEC, yeah.
companies, bulk oil companies that import the
COPEC.
oil? They need dollars to import the oil. Okay? And that dollars are determined by the exchange rate differentials at home. You get me?
Yes.
Good. So if our CD constantly depreciate against the value of the dollar, what it means is that the importers will need more CDs to get few dollars. And eventually, when they import the commodities and bring it home, prices will go high.
Go ahead.
The second factor is petroleum taxes. But the first two can be done, something can be done by the government. Or something can be done to it by the government. For example, if government manage the economy very well, to the extent that our city don't loses its value and the value remains constant for a very long time, automatically petroleum prices will remain stable.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, if government don't impose draconian taxes on the petroleum product, definitely price of petroleum prices will not go high, because it's a basic knowledge. The motive of the businessman is to maximize profit and minimize losses. So if government put a margin of tax on the product, every rational entrepreneur or businessman will push that price to the final consumer. So the final consumer will pay. Therefore, prices of the goods and services will go higher.
Okay.
What is making that worse in our situation is these two indicators I've spoken about.
Okay.
Even with the price in international market, there's what we call Petroleum Price Stabilization Act in this country, or levy. And that levy have been approved by the Parliament of Ghana. And it's a tax that when you buy fuel, you pay for that tax. Government is supposed to keep that money cumulatively, and when prices begin to go up in the international market, government will use that money to cushion the price, so it will lessen the plug on the people. That was what NDC was doing. And at the same time, we have what we call the bust margin. You know, NDC time, what we're doing was that when the prices go, in fact, fuel price is not stable in the international market. It can go high, it can come down. What we did was that when the prices go higher, we don't reduce it at home. So when the prices decline in the international market, we don't reduce the price at home. We maintain it there. But the surplus we get, we store it. You get me? So in case of any eventuality, we will release what we have into the system to cushion the consumer and to make life stable and easy.
Okay.
That is the time when we leave in office. We had over 5 million liters of oil stored by bust. MPP came, they contaminate it and sell it to themselves and make the money. That money went to their private coffers without the government of Ghana benefiting from it. So this is number one. Number two, when you look at the fuel price, I have told you it is as a result of bad government. And what is making things so worse is that now the economy has crumbled and the government is now looking for many ways to raise revenues.
So
the higher prices.
More,
say again.
We've been given just 2 minutes more.
Very well.
Okay.
Anyway, don't let me even reflect on some of the things they said in opposition.
Okay.
And Joseph posed against what is happening now, as if these guys have been fair to the people of this country. Dr. Bawumia, this was May 2015. He said that I feel really sad this morning. I feel really sad this morning for the ordinary Ghanaian, the hard-working people who have to endure the insensitive decision to increase fuel prices at this time. Dr. Bawumia, that time, fuel was 3.111. Okay? 3.111. Minimum wage was 8 cedis at that time. Which means ordinary or the average Ghanaian can buy 2 liters of fuel. Okay? And indeed, there will be additional 2 cedis left. Today, fuel, according to COPEC, will go all the way to 11%. But let's even take it at the current rate. It is 8.429. Okay, 8.429. Our minimum wage now is 13 cedis. And the fuel is 8. Take 8 from 11. How much is left? So what this means is that the ordinary Ghanaian cannot buy 2 liters of fuel from the minimum wage he is earning today. Have the quality of our life incline or decline. And now, here his own boss. We will move away from high budget deficit and reckless borrowing because we know the benefit of fiscal responsibility. And he proceeded to say this, very instructive. Let me end on this note. This is a Ghana web publication. The notes are too many, but I'll get it. Okay, it's here. This is a Ghana web publication. Fuel price hikes. Mahama is insensitive. Akufo-Addo. These were his words. Today, what do we tell him? No wonder, after 6 March, he took aircraft and ran out of the country. Only for us to see this man strangely dancing with a mape soko ne mape.
Oh.
Soko ne mape, soko ne kufado pe. We're getting real muamene. This is what is happening. He's doing
Okay,
to us.
Mr. Maliba,
Instead
thank
of
you
him
so
to have
much.
stayed home and solved the problems, he took a flight and ran to, how do you call it? United Arab Emirates. And they light Burj Khalifa. You know Burj Khalifa? The tallest building in the world. To salute him. He stood behind that building and took a picture. You know how much it cost Ghana? Over 400 million Ghana cedis.
All right.
Yes. Almost $69,000.
Let's wrap up here.
This is the man we are talking about.
Thank you so
God
much,
have mercy on us.
Mr. Kingsley Amaliba, and thank you also to lawyer John Agbote, wherever you are right now. Thank you so much for joining us here and making this discussion a lively one. Thank you to all our viewers, lovely viewers there. You've stayed on from 6 a.m. up till now, and we say thank you. So yes, we do have a last segment, but I'm taking leave of this seat and I want you to continue to watch, okay? There is something beautiful we want you to see the next segment. Don't go anywhere. So just go for a very, very short commercial break and then you join us with that segment. But thank you to Mr. Kingsley Amaliba for staying on us.